welcome back to my channel. It has been a good while since I have properly filmed. In fact, that's not entirely true. I have filmed loads of stuff, but I haven't found the time to put it all together into a video to edit together to put out because, well, mostly because mum life is really busy. Who knew? So yeah, I've got loads and loads of content. I've started videos and then haven't had the time, the space, the energy to edit that footage and put it out. So I am going to try and get that content out. I don't know exactly what form it's going to take, but I think in my head I wanted to get content out in kind of a chronological order, but actually I think what I need to do is sit down with a cup of tea and touch base with you all because it has been a while. So where are we at? You may notice, although you can't see a huge amount behind me, but I am not filming in our lovely new build house that you may have seen the video. I will link it up here. You may have seen the move vlog a few years ago. I am not filming from that house because we have moved. We actually had really exciting opportunities come up for both of us. So we have done a massive cross-country move and are now living in the southwest, which is really exciting. It's been a big move, but remarkably it all kind of came together. So the move happened right at the end of my maternity leave, so I ended up taking an extra couple of weeks at the end of my maternity leave and then starting back at work after having Evie at a totally new job. So that worked out quite well, but it did mean that I went back to work, we moved, Matt started a new job, Evie started nursery, and everything all at the same time. So quite an overwhelming couple of months at the end of last year getting all of that done, but I'm really pleased and we're really settled down here now, which is lovely. So I wanted to kind of sit down and have a bit of a chat, a bit of a catch up, just because it's been a little while and I think I wanted to update you all really. So Evie is now 18 months old and honestly I thought I was going to have a bit more time to film content and be a bit more present online and getting things out there, particularly while I was on maternity leave. And then mum life is busy anyway, and then we had a few issues because Evie had quite significant reflux, so we spent a lot of time trying to get her comfortable with that, getting that all under control, speaking with doctors and things, but it meant that she didn't really sleep. It's getting better now at 18 months, but she didn't really sleep properly at all until she was at least probably 14-15 months old. And when I say sleep properly, I mean she still doesn't sleep through the night. And that's normal, and I think that's something that's really important to talk about because I think the expectation is, at least maybe I was naive, I thought by 18 months we'd be getting fairly consistent sleep through the night every night, and maybe I was completely naive, but I think it's important that I'm open about that. But yeah, I think we thought the sleep would be easier and the sleep was very difficult. We were getting kind of an average of maybe 4 hours sleep a night until she was probably 9, 10, 11 months old, and I'm a person who needs a lot of sleep, so that was really difficult. We ended up working with a private sleep consultant who I will link below. She is not, it's not sleep training. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. And if you can, fair play to you. The biggest thing I've learned about parenting is that everyone kind of does it their own way, and that's absolutely fine. So I have no judgment for anyone who can sleep train, who has sleep trained. But the sleep consultant that we worked with, I will link below because I think she's incredible, because it isn't sleep training. It's optimizing routine. It's looking for anything that might be underlying, causing the issues with her sleep. So things like if she had allergies or reflux, anything like that. It's about identifying those things. So and making changes in her routine, and that did give us a profound change in Evie's sleep. So it's still not perfect, but massive difference. So I will link her below because I think she's incredible. So yeah, didn't get to make as much content in maternity leave as I thought I would. And then going back to work, I think obviously that takes up a bit more of your time. I've really enjoyed being back at work. I've really enjoyed it, and obviously it's a new hospital. Everyone's really lovely and friendly, and I've really enjoyed that. So it's been nice being back at work and getting that little bit of me back. But obviously that comes with its own stresses, and also the fact that you're then, well, I'm then working 12-hour shifts. Any kind of opportunities for content creation in my free time, where I'm chasing a toddler around, was then also reduced. So I haven't really been able to get anything out there, and that's fine because it's that kind of season of my life where my priorities and my availability just hasn't accommodated for that. But I want to do more because I love content creation. I'm really passionate about it, and I want to share things. I think that actually mum life, I think that being a mum is the most amazing thing, but it is also such a dramatic change in your life and your lifestyle, and it's something that's not really talked about. And I think over the last kind of month or two, I've been experiencing a little bit of kind of burnout from it, just in terms of mentally not having any space, and I think it's not really talked about. So I want to be able to create content that is totally honest. I'm now at the point where I have kind of recognised that I mentally need a bit more space. Not space from my daughter, no, God no, but in terms of just, I was going from working 12-hour shifts to being mum 100% of the time. And actually it's really important to do things like have date nights or have a bit of time, even an hour or two, where you're not either at work or being mum. So I have kind of tried to prioritise my mental health a little bit over the last few weeks, just kind of trying to find spaces in my diary where I can get a bit of space and a bit of rest. So I'm working on that because I'm still struggling with the switching off, which is probably why I am filming right now and not sitting watching the telly. Because today is one of Evie's nursery days, but I don't have a shift because I'm working at the weekend. So Evie is at nursery and I'm not at work, and this is the first time this has happened, and I genuinely don't know what to do with myself. But this is the kind of space that I think I've needed for a while. I haven't really had this kind of space, so I think it's going to be good for me. I think it's what I need to be prioritising a little bit, just to try and give myself a little bit more space, but I can't switch off at the moment, so that's going to be a bit of a learning curve. But yeah, so I want to share a bit of kind of mum life and just kind of get back into content creation as a thing that I enjoy doing. So I have written myself a little list of kind of a catch up and update, things that I want to update you on. I suppose the big one is our wonderful daughter, who is 18 months old. She is amazing. She's such a funny little character. I think 18 months is such a lovely time because she's really coming into herself and becoming a little person. She's very affectionate. She is full of cuddles. She started doing kisses. She is absolutely infatuated with the dog. So her and Murphy are little besties. She is a proper little bookworm. She loves books. She will read books until the cows come home, which is really sweet because I love books. Haven't had a chance to read one in a while, but I love books, so that's really special for me. She's got loads of teeth. I suppose 18 months, they're kind of getting most of their teeth by that point anyway, but she's got her two little canines coming in at the top at the moment, bless her. She is at nursery, so she started, initially when we moved, she started with a childminder for a month or two, just while we were sorting the nursery places and waiting for the space to become available and things, because obviously doing a reasonably last minute move meant we hadn't been on a waiting list for a long time. So yeah, so she was with the childminder for a little bit and then moved into nursery, and both have been really positive. The childminder, she settled in within a couple of days and was having a really lovely time. Nursery has taken a little bit longer to adapt in terms of, I think it's a bit more of an intense environment. There's a lot more kids. She's quite quiet as a little person, and obviously there are slightly older kids in her class and kids that might be a little bit more boisterous. So she's very settled now, but it has taken a little while. And actually she probably has a really lovely time once she's there, but there's been a few times when she's kind of got upset at drop off and things, which is obviously really hard, but it's really good for her. Obviously we have the fairly regular nursery immune system boost, where she will come home incredibly snotty or with some kind of cough, cold, whatever. We try and view it as much as we can as a positive, because it is going to boost her immune system in the long run. But my God, the snot is something else. What else to update you on her? She is still breastfeeding. I don't think she's going to be breastfeeding for much longer. I just kind of want to be led by her. It has massively reduced over the last kind of couple of months. So we were, up until a couple of months ago, we were still doing 3 or 4 feeds in a 24-hour period. Now we're down to 1 or 2. I think the one that will take the longest to go is first thing in the morning when we get her up. We bring her into our bed in the morning. Works for us. I know it doesn't work for some people, but works for us. Bring her into our bed. And this is also partly down to the quite strict sleep schedule that we have to keep, where we have to wake her up in the morning to make sure that she doesn't sleep too much in 24 hours, because then she'll be up in the middle of the night for a really long period. We had a period of about 3 months where she was having what they call split nights, where she was up for like 1, 2, maybe 3 hours in the middle of the night. Just really hard to settle. So that's something we worked on with the sleep consultant, about changing up her routine to try and reduce that. But yeah, so part of that is waking her up in the morning. So we wake her up and then we bring her into our bed and she feeds, which gives us another 10 minutes to kind of come to. So I think that'll be the last feed that goes, but she is still feeding and it's been a wonderful experience. I think I'll probably do a video about the breastfeeding journey, because I think there have been things that have been quite difficult, and I've been surprised by how difficult support is to access in terms of not the early days. I found that, you know, midwives and things were very, very, and obviously I'm a midwife so that helps, but the midwives and support workers and things were very, very helpful to start with, and then you get discharged to the health visitor, and then it's just been, there were a few times where I could have really done with a bit more support, and I think the latter part, particularly after 6 months when you're starting to wean, the support is a lot less, and I was surprised by that, and I found it quite difficult at times. So I think I'll probably do a video about our breastfeeding journey. I also had some really unusual experiences in terms of like, sorry if it's TMI, but like clogged ducts and blebs and milk blisters and things like that, that I, even as a midwife, hadn't really heard of, hadn't really come across. So I think I will share things like that in another video, because it warrants its own video, I think. But yeah, really, I've really loved breastfeeding, and I will be very sad when she stops, but it will be quite nice to have my body back at the same time. What else to update you on? Oh, in terms of speaking about my body, at the back end of September, I had just gone back to work, and I think I was feeling very, very sluggish, and just very, very tired, and I knew that I was physically heavier than I probably ever have been. I basically just got this massive kick up the backside when I went back to work to try and recoup a bit of me, and part of that was that I was feeling very sluggish and very heavy and just not quite myself. So I have been back on my Fitness Pal, back doing my weighing everything and counting calories, which is the way that it works for me, and it's been actually a really positive experience. I haven't massively been limiting myself, I've still been breastfeeding, but I've just been trying to kind of stop huge indulgences, and I am quite strict when I do it, and I get quite motivated when I'm trying to be good, because I think if I'm kind of limiting myself on things, I want to see results, but sorry if you can hear the washing machine in the background, by the way. It's been hard, as any kind of thing like that is, but I've actually lost 34 pounds now. Wow, it's like the house is going to take off. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like the house is taking off. So I've actually lost 34 pounds, and I feel much better in my own skin. I'm still trying to be reasonably healthy, but I'm not being totally paranoid with it, but I just feel much better. I feel much more healthy. It's very odd how my body shape has changed since having a baby, because I know what I weigh now. I'm not gonna share that, because I think that is from past experience of being the other side, knowing what someone weighs and going, oh, I'll look like that if I weigh that. I don't think it's a helpful, everyone looks different at different weights, and I don't think it's a helpful statistic to have, so I'm not going to share that. But having weighed what I weigh now, in the past, my body looks very different at this weight than it has done before, in terms of, actually probably in terms of muscle mass. I think I have more muscle, but that's probably down to lifting a heavy toddler all the time, but I feel like I'm in better shape for this weight than I ever have been. Things like I fit in jeans that I previously only fit in at a much lower weight. So I think it's really interesting how my body shape has changed, and I obviously am not expecting to get down to any teeny tiny numbers. I still have to parent, I still have to survive my 12-hour shifts, so it has to be sustainable for me, but I feel much better in my own skin. So let me know in the comments if you want to know a bit more about that. I'm happy to share what I've been doing and things like that, but I won't go into too much detail if it's not something that people are interested in. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to share. I knew I wanted to sit down and just have a bit of a catch up and a bit of a chat, and this isn't going to be very heavily edited at all, mostly because I don't have the time to sit down like I used to and clip out every I don't have that time in my life, so you're gonna get a bit more in terms of the raw content from me. I'm gonna try and create a bit more, but I'm not gonna have a strict schedule, because I don't want to I want to put regular content out there, but I'm not going to say I'm going to put a video out every Thursday or anything like that, because where that was once sustainable for me, that is not something that I can commit to doing at the moment, and it might be that it becomes something that I can do, and it might be that I just become a bit better at this balance. But yeah, I'm going to try and bring a bit more content out. It's going to be raw, real mum life, and you're quite often going to get me as I am today, with no makeup on, just a bit of moisturiser. Hair is still damp from the shower that I've had this morning. Oh, that's the other thing, I've gone redhead. So I've been a redhead before, but yeah, I've gone redhead. So this was part of like the looking after myself thing. I realised just before Christmas that I hadn't actually had my hair cut in over a year, because navigating someone to look after Evie and getting an appointment without being both of those things, in terms of I couldn't get an appointment and then try and find the childcare, I couldn't find the childcare and then try and find an appointment to match it. It was just proving really difficult, so asked my mum for some help, and she booked the appointment for me and said she would watch Evie while I had my hair done. So it meant that I had time to myself to be a bit pampered. So it's all part of this kind of trying to look after myself a little bit more, and I'm not talking spa days, I'm talking an hour here, an hour there, just to be me a little bit, and take the stress off. So yeah, so I've gone redhead, but yes, you are going to get a bit more raw me, no makeup, wet hair. I'm gonna try and do some more vlogs, days in the life, sit down chatty videos. So let me know if there's anything particular that you want to hear from me. I will share my birth story before I totally forget it, because it's been a while. Not that it's ever something I'm gonna forget, but I will share that. I have got some video clips actually from when I went into labour, so I will be sharing that in a video. And I will share things like my breastfeeding experience and things like that. But just let me know if there's anything that you would like to know, would like to see. In terms of plans this year for 2024, I think the main thing is trying not to do anything too stressful, given that obviously 2023 we ended up doing a massive move that we weren't planning at the start of the year. In 2022 we had a baby. In 2021 we got married in a pandemic. Obviously 2020 was COVID. 2019 we got engaged. So I think we've done like a massive thing. Oh, and 2020 we also got a dog. So I think we want to try and not do anything massive. However, we are going to buy a house this year. We are going to sell our lovely house up in the Midlands. Sad as that is. We don't live in the Midlands anymore, so we are going to sell that house, sadly, and buy something down here. So I will share a little bit of that, because obviously previously when I've shared house move stuff, it was buying a new build as no chain, as a first time buyer. So it will be a very different experience selling a house and buying a house, and doing that. Also selling a house 2.5 hours away and buying a house here. That's obviously going to come with its own challenges. Yeah, so I will share that experience. But other than that, this year we're hoping to try and not do too much in terms of massive things. I think that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's not been self-indulgent. I just wanted to kind of update you guys, and I will try and get some of the content that I have filmed over the last 18 months out. A lot of it doesn't have kind of anything contextual to it, so I've got kind of clips of the day that we moved in here, but no kind of chatting or commentary on it. So I need to sit down and kind of edit what I've got and work out if I need to kind of film an intro or things like that. But I am going to try and get that content out, but I think waiting to get that content out has been stopping me getting anything else out, so I needed to just touch base with you guys. And any content that comes out now, I will kind of caveat with saying this was filmed back in September, but otherwise I'm not going to get any content out. So I wanted to sit down and have a bit of a casual chat, and today seemed like the right opportunity to do it, given that I have some time to myself. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I will see you very soon, hopefully, for the next video. And please let me know in the comments if there's anything specific that you want to see from me, because I'm really open to your ideas and suggestions of what you want to see. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and I will see you very soon.